Okay, so I'm in the middle of writing an anon, and I wanted to say it in a video because it's going to take for fucking ever if I don't. It's really, really long, so I'm just going to read it out loud and you can watch this and here's your answer. You said, "What does your teacher do/say to you?" And I said that it's really hard to put into words. I care about school too much, in all honesty, but the fact of the matter is she's the worst teacher and stresses everyone out to no end. The first point I'd like to bring up is that she does not teach. The only thing that I've learned in that class is that her horses like to drink orange Gatorade. We spent the first 2 months of school focused on Obama-Romney, continuing after the election because her teaching is shit, and we all made PowerPoints on who was a better candidate, even after the election was over, and we still haven't presented them in class, and she may actually make us present them soon. And then, we crammed in 4 subjects into 3 weeks and 4-hour-a-night homework assignments, and turned into our study guide. So basically that means we had a lot of homework on 4 different subjects. She has all these different things. She takes broad subjects like war. We focused on all different types of war. We focused on the Afghanistan war, and she focused on what they do for fun and what weapons they have. And that was it. And then on our homework assignments, there's so much more, but we all do them together because she encourages that. So we all do our homework together. We only do 1 question each. Some of us don't even do questions, and we never learn anything. And the homework comes out to be about 20 to 40 pages, and we print it out, and then she grades them all. And then we stapled them all together in the end, and we had 4 homework assignments. That's 20 to 40 pages each. That turns out to be at least 80 pages. And guess what? That 80 pages was our study guide midterm. It was... Our midterm was awful as well, because there were things on that midterm that we never even went over. Topics that we never even touched. And on the things that we did touch, we didn't know, because she just focused on... Oh god, I have another story. Okay, so, the Civil War. Basically when our packets were done to study for the midterm, for our study guides were done, she said, "Okay, your study guides are done for the midterm, so what else do you want to learn?" No, that... I shit you not. She said, "Well, you have the option to learn about this. It's all in your study guide anyway, so you already know it. But what do you want to go over in class?" So I said, "The Civil War," because we never learned about the Civil War. She's like, "Okay." We focused on the Battle of Antietam, we focused on food rationing, and we focused on how it's not about slavery, is what we focused on. And then on the midterm, there were questions like NATO and Iron Curtain and who fell to the Iron Curtain, what was McCarthyism. There were things about feminism on this midterm study guide online that she put online for us, but there was nothing about feminism, and when I confronted her about it, she said, no, that's the wrong one. It's still on there, too. And it's still about feminism, and it's about all these other topics that we never went over, which was never even on the midterm. I think that's it for teaching. Number 2 was how she shoves her opinions down your throat. So I basically only have one primary example, because how far can you go with this one? She was talking about unemployment and how it's a problem in our nation, obviously. And she's like, "Well, do you think we should have more entitlements for people who are unemployed, and should we help them? And should we have them have help finding a job?" And I said, "Well, yeah, they should be helped finding a job, but not as much as they are, because, I mean, personally in my life, there's people who are, unemployed, and they're not doing anything to fix it, which is sad. But they're selling things on eBay, is what they're doing. And they're making a lot of money. They're making basically enough money to cover themselves, plus all the benefits that they get from unemployment, so that they're able to... They don't need the unemployment benefits, is what I'm trying to get at. And so I say, well, there should be help, but there should be less help, because there's plenty of other options that they could do. They can go on construction work, and there's always those people who are disabled, which is fine. They should get the benefits, and it's a whole system, and I don't know what to do, because I'm a child. And she attacks me and my friend, well, not really my friend, but somebody in my class, because we both said, well, we think they should have less benefits, because people just don't have any work ethic and aren't trying. And she's like, no, well, we only get blah, blah, blah. And she said, before we even started, she said, this is purely an opinion question. And then she questions my opinion. The worst of it all, though, is how she thinks that she is so She thinks that she's the Messiah. She runs also our National Honor Society, which I'm forced to be in, which my mother won't let me out of because although it's just basically a money grubbing scheme, I need it for college, which I really don't because I'll get into a good college even without it. But she's like, oh, well, it's our chance to get scholarship money. She gets very angry about it. But this woman, this teacher that I have, is just so horrid. She's so organized on paper, and she's so disorganized when actually going through with the plan. She's a lawyer, and she teaches legal studies in our school, but she's not fit to be a history teacher. She has all the requirements, and she's a beautiful candidate for it. But when you see her actually teach, she is shit. In fact, she was at a rival school, blah, 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 high school, because I'm not going to tell you where I live, and they actually ran her out because they bitched her out like I'm bitching her out right now on this tape. I mean, I'd do it straight to her face, too. But they ran her out of the school because they were done with her shit. I mean, there's like, imagine me times enough people to actually run a teacher out of the school into the rival school and have her teach here. I'm just so done. I've actually vomited. I've cried in bathroom stalls.
It's 6 o'clock.
That's my computer saying it's 6 o'clock, in case you didn't hear that. But, it's just, it's actually putting a mental strain on me. And it's hurting. And I've had depression before this, and I'm always depressed no matter what. You know, I'm usually happy on the outside, and I've had a long run of not being depressed for a long time, but it's starting to come back again. And I'm not saying it's just this class is bringing about all of these feelings again. Because I'm a tryhard. And I always want to get an A. Like, tomorrow we found out a midterm grade in that class. Well, at least she said talk to her about it, which means we're probably not going to find out for another 5 weeks, but I want to try and find out because I want to see my grade. I want to know that I got a C, which is completely unacceptable. And I want to tell her that there was stuff on that midterm that we never learned, and that she's going to deny it, and then I'm going to tell her to give me the midterm. I'm going to point out which questions we never learned. Hopefully I'll get points back. If not, she'll fight me, and then I'll verbally beat her down with every point that I just made here. There's your answer. I'm sorry if it's really long, but somebody had to say it.